Good morning. It's Vijay here. Today is Thursday, 31st July 2025. Welcome to yet another episode of Pre-Market Commentary. I think a lot of people have got up today looking at Gift Nifty, wondering why is it down 200 points. But people in the know yesterday would have seen that Trump has created havoc as far as India's trade deal is concerned. Even I did not expect that they will go beyond 20 to 25%. He has gone much beyond that. And so everybody is panicking. So the question which we will try to answer today is, should we panic? So let's look at it in perspective. So they say there are three phases of the market. One is the buying market, selling market, that is, and then the panicking. So it looks like a lot of people, including the head honchos of the mutual funds, are panicking as we go into action today. Now, let's step back for a moment, think about it calmly, and look at it from a perspective, and then decide whether we should really panic. So, stay with me now. So, the basic, stay with me till the last, and I will hopefully give you a complete picture. So, yesterday was the 25% tariff which came. Yesterday morning itself, I had mentioned that Trump is going to probably put between 20 and 25 because that is what he said in an interview. So one was expecting 25% tariff, but the fly in the ointment, as I call it, was the penalty. Now he has blamed India as aiding Russia's economy, where we are buying oil from Russia and also military equipment. And military equipment we have been buying for decades, so there is nothing new. Now, oil, we are buying, gas is being bought by EU, China is buying oil. So he has just targeted India, I think more out of a fit of, let's say, an arrogance, I would call it. Now, he would think that if I can't attack Russia directly, let me attack through a secondary tariff, which is India, and hopefully Russia will come to the negotiating table as far as the Ukraine war is concerned. In my opinion, it is the most ill thought out policy. Incidentally, now he has apparently deleted the tweet which he was talking about yesterday. He called us, obnoxious and various other words which people were debating. I was very clear that a bully will use such kind of words. So if we are to be on a higher ground, which India is and has been always, we should ignore such words. So there's no point in debating as to what word he used against India. At the end of the day, we need to get a good deal from US because it's in the interest of both us and US that we get a good deal. Please note that this deal is on only the merchandise exports, which means the services exports are exempt from any tariffs. Now, services are mainly IT services. So, just let's look at exports of India to US. On an annual basis, about $80 billion export we export to US. Out of that, merchandise exports is $45 billion, services is $35 billion. So, $35 billion of exports are not going to be tariffed. Please note that. US contributes about 18% of total exports of India globally. So it is not that US is the major country and we are not a country like Vietnam or Bangladesh or many of the Southeast Asian countries which depend on exports to US. We have only 18%. So what you need to know is services are exempt from tariffs. We contribute totally 18%. If you take out 18%, so really merchandise exports, we are contributing only 9%. Now, merchandise exports contribute only 9% of our total exports globally. So, if you look at it in the perspective, then you will understand that it is futile to panic. So, before that, I will talk more about it a little later. So yesterday was a range bound session. Nobody was a winner. By and large, advances and declines were same. L&T came up with very good results, and L&T showed up. There was a panic in Tata Motors because Tata Motors is planning to buy Iveco, which is a truck maker in Europe. And people remember they are planning to pay $4 billion. So people remember what happened in JLR in 2008 when they paid $2.4 billion and it created havoc as far as the balance sheet is concerned. I don't believe that the history will repeat itself in that manner because I think times have changed. The person who was managing then, Mr. Ratan Tata, was a woolly-eyed person, in my opinion. He was trying to see whether India will dominate global autos, and that spectacularly failed for some time. But then JLR has come to actually be a jewel in the crown. So Tata, at that point of time, looked bad, woolly-eyed. But if you had waited for some time, you would have got it at much cheaper rates. Nevertheless, there's been successful acquisition of JLR. Similarly, I expect Iveco also to be a successful acquisition because the new management is much more sharp. So this is as far as market is concerned. Bank Nifty incidentally was down, whereas the other indices were up. So FIS sold less yesterday, only 850 crores. DIs sold about 1,800. So market was stabilized because of the DIs. Now, just what are the cues this morning? Yesterday, the US markets went down. Dow was down 172 points. S&P was down 0.1%. NASDAQ was up 0.15%. After the market, Microsoft and Meta have reported fantastic earnings and futures are up there significantly. Europe was flat by and large. Asia Pacific today, Nikkei is up 0.7%. Hang Seng is down about 360 points. Kospi is up 0.2%. Gold is down significantly. Brent is up because of this tariff on India. Dollar index also got stronger, which means rupee got weaker, which in one way will benefit the exporters. So to that extent, the pain will be less on the exporters. If you have a weak rupee, rupee went down from 85.6 to around 87.9. When I say down, it means with respect to dollar. Rupee is getting less number of dollars. 1 rupee is getting less number of dollars right now. So it's okay even if it goes to 90. There is nothing to be alarmed because typically we have a 5% depreciation every year. So a 5% will take it to 90, 91. So one should not really worry on that. So we also have forgotten that there was an FOMC meet and the US Federal Reserve kept interest rates unchanged. But what is significant is there were two governors who dissented and they wanted a cut. Now, if you want to find out when such a dissent has happened, you have to go back to 1993. That is about 32 years ago when two governors dissented. Typically, one governor may dissent. Most of the time, it is unanimous. But this is the first time in 32 years when two governors dissented, which means that in the next board meeting, more governors will dissent if the conditions remain the same, which is good employment and low inflation, which is what is likely to be. And then definitely Powell has to listen to them. And it looks like the next meeting, whatever the market may say now, the next meeting we should see an interest rate cut, which means more money will come into the market. Now, late in the night, we also had, incidentally, as I said, Trump apparently removed the tweet when he accused us of all kinds of things. And now in the interview, he talks about, we will see next week how the deal will go through. But the White House official says that reciprocal tariffs will come into effect from August 1st. And then there are some exemptions for goods such as semiconductors, steel, and pharma. Incidentally, some goods like steel, for instance, already have a 50% tariff. So there is going to be, in fact, no change in that. So if you really cut through the clutter, you will see that more and more goods are coming out of the 25% tariff. So already people are paying that 50%. Pharma is not at there. So we'll have to see when will pharma tariffs come. So the final paper on tariffs moving past August 1st hasn't been released specifying anything beyond the top line rate of 25%. Originally, it was 26. They've reduced it to 25 for India. So no additional details on the penalty. I suspect the penalty will not be there because it's an ill thought out move. It's more, as I said, in a fit of arrogance, which he has made, which I think he will retract sooner or later, because you know what we call the taco trade. Trump always chickens out. He has already chickened out half. So that is, again, you'll have to look at it in perspective when you enter the market today. So what are the brokerages talking about? Indian brokerage Elara talks about there is only a 30 basis point drag on India growth in case of no deal, and that is deal with what it is today. Then 30 basis point direct impact will be felt on pharma, auto ancillaries, industrial machinery, gems and jewelry exports. They say, but again, as I said, they are a small component. Then weakness will benefit IT sector. In fact, it will benefit every exporter. So it's not only IT sector. Now, what we can look forward to is that our rate is higher than Vietnam, the Philippines, and Indonesia, which is what should worry us, but still lower than Bangladesh and some other countries which are competing with us in textiles. So Nuvama talks about India's goods exports to US may be hurt, which I mentioned anyway. So you can redirect your exports because we are talking of merchandise exports, which you can send it to Europe, you can send it to other countries which may want to buy them. Say for gems and jewelry. Gems and jewelry has got a worldwide market, so it's not necessary that everything has to go only to US and it should get hurt fully there. So they also talk about INR weakness and then so on and so forth. So Gift Nifty is talking about gap opening of 210. It is likely that for the next few days there will be some chaos because people want to be negative on India, negative on the Indian markets. I keep mentioning our macros are improving, our liquidity is improving with RBI and government pushing more. Now, with all that, it's very difficult to keep the bull market down for a long time. So, sure, we will have corrections, we will have panic, we will have people selling, but always one should remember this golden rule: you will never lose when the market panics if you are holding good shares. You will only lose when you panic. And I am not panicking. We are looking at quality stocks, and then we plan to buy those at rates if they come, where the attractive rates will come, I suspect, because a lot of people are panicking. Whatever you do, I hope you don't panic.